What's up, guys? We are back again, and we're going to be talking about another show that just premiered not too long ago. We are finally going to be talking about, like I promised you guys, we were going to be talking about would be Pacific Rim: The Black. Now, there is a lot in depth to theorize on, to go over. So, first off, as I always say, if you guys have not seen anything, then I do recommend you guys go check it out before you guys check this video out, because we are going to be getting into major spoiler territory. We are going to be talking about possibilities about what could happen with the series, as well as what happened within the series. Now, obviously, if you guys know anything about Pacific Rim, I'm not going to go really too much into it, other than a little about the story. So we have these two characters, brother and sister, Taylor, as well as also two siblings, where their parents were Jaeger pilots, and they're in Australia. Australia just gets completely, pretty much just wiped out. And we have where Haley and Taylor, they got no choice but to pretty much just, they get left behind by their parents. Their parents have to go for help. 5 years go by. Their parents still haven't returned. They formed a colony on a base on the outskirts somewhere in the desert. And then we have where Haley's wanting to leave. Taylor's wanting to stay. And things go crazy. They find a Jaeger by the name of Atlas. They also, it has an AI in there, teaches them how to use it, but it's only an AI. So they go through this journey of having to learn how to not only run a Jaeger, but in the world that is pretty much owned by kaiju. And there's some other areas in this that really kind of gets crazy, because we meet a character by the name of Shane, who's pretty much like a black market dealer or a possible warlord, like we saw in the very first Pacific Rim movie, like we saw with Ron Perlman, that type of thing he was doing. So more than likely, this character Shane is pretty much doing the same thing. And we meet another character by the name of Mai, who is pretty much like just his assassin, his pretty much his tool soldier to have whatever he wants, and she pretty much does. But then she later realizes that she is pretty much has been used this entire time, and later becomes friends with Taylor and Haley as well. But we also have a big, huge thing in this series where they meet someone that has been in Meridian for however long, and he somehow is a spoiler here, guys, because at the very end we get into a major spoiler where they find a boy. They call him Boy. He doesn't talk. He has extraordinary abilities, and they come across two different things, which I didn't never think they were going to be doing in Pacific Rim at all. They really went to the rim here, no pun intended, but they did something I never thought they were going to do. They actually brought what we were seeing in the trailer with the red eyes, a kaiju Jaeger mix, where somehow or other during the uprising, one of the Jaegers somehow got, I guess, some type of virus or brain, something to where it merged with a kaiju, and they were able to mix and become, I guess, a hybrid of a Jaeger kaiju, some type of transformation. And this thing has no allegiance to nobody. It will attack a kaiju, it will attack a Jaeger or a city without no hesitation. This thing is extremely powerful, and when it does attack the Atlas, we do see where Boy is able to stop it with basically just one stop, and he's able to stop it. And somehow or other, they are able to connect, and that's how we're able to see throughout this story. Now, here's the big kicker: is right when they go to a city that they find another Jaeger possible that is in the area, they later realize that this is their parents. Their parents are now missing. Their Jaeger is down for the count. It's basically almost been destroyed. And when the kaiju that has pretty much been following them throughout the entirety of this series, we do see where they finally start taking it down. And when they got a new arm, because the Mecha Jaeger, which is called Apex, gave them a brand new arm to try, so they're able to use this to fight it, as well as also, here's the big kicker here, guys, is now somehow or other people are now able to make a kaiju human from birth, or from some type of tank. tank bread, where they are able to make this. And this is what was so crazy: is boy somehow transforms into a kaiju, and this really took me by storm. I was like, oh wow, I cannot believe they did this. And we also see where at the very end, after they finally kill this kaiju, after killing this kaiju, which was a copperhead, which was a level 4. I don't remember all the names because there wasn't really a whole lot of different kaiju in this film, in this series. There was maybe I would say maybe 4 or 5 different types, if that. I thought they were going to go more into detail. And at the very end, we see this cult. I don't know what it is near these kaiju dogs is what I'm going to call them. I don't know the proper name for them, but they basically say that the kaiju messiah has finally arisen, which I'm guessing is Boy, or whoever this this creature, this person is. And that's how the this series ended. Now overall, I enjoyed this. I really did. It felt a little rushed. I feel like 7 episodes was not enough. I felt like, again, it was not possibly the best out there. The animation was not particularly to my liking. I thought the animation could be better. I think with as much money as Netflix gets, as well as the production teams and the CGI teams, as well as the animation team, they could have done a lot better. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not a fan of the animation. I think it was still good, though. Story overall was still good. I just wish there was a lot of plot holes that left unsaid about what kaiju was what exactly, is Boy's purpose, what happened with this mecha slash Jaeger hybrid that was made, as well as also what really happened with the uprising slash war in Australia. Were these kaiju just too powerful to fight the Jaegers? Like, what exactly happened? So there's a lot of mixed plot holes that were left unfilled, unless they're going to try to fill those plot holes in season 2, and each episode is about 40 minutes long or less. It's still a good series, don't get me wrong. It's one of those, if you're a fan of Pacific Rim, if you're a fan of the franchise, then this is definitely the series for you. The first one I really enjoyed. The second one was okay. The second one was not as good as the first one. Is this kind of compared to the movie series? I think that Netflix has a good step in the direction. It's just the first few episodes does take a while for it to basically get its reins, where you're trying to get invested into the series, and it kind of takes a couple episodes to do that, because it's kind of boring at the first half of it. It's exciting, then it gets boring, then it gets exciting, then it gets boring. And I know some shows do that, and like I think the last 3 episodes was really action packed, really fast paced, kind of heavy, and that's what kind of really got me more into it. And I really binged on it in one particular day. It's only at 7 episodes, so it won't take you very long. If you just want to sit down and watch a series that's very short, again, it won't take you very long. Am I expecting in season 2? Possibly, depending on how good the series does. I'm hoping that at some point we do get a second season. Hopefully the animation style will improve, as well as also those plot holes. Like I said, they do get figured out of exactly, why Boy is the way he is. How come now we're having human kaiju all of a sudden, as well as kaiju hybrids mixed with Jaegers at the same time. There's a lot of unanswered easy feelings. Now again, do I agree with all this? Possibly not. I think that's kind of silly that you're wanting to make a hybrid with a human as well as a kaiju, and a kaiju with a Jaeger so early. But at the same time, I know people probably theorize this over the years, and there's probably ones out there that have probably a lot of happy thoughts towards this, which is perfectly fine. I don't know how I really feel towards this. I mean, it's one of those where I have to see more to get more invested into this possible theory, but I'm not going to rule it out. I think that there should be more information about how they are created, and once that's done, I think it would make more sense rather than just throw it out there and not fully explain to how or why it's made, and just give us a quick answer rather than go into further detail. So that's just my personal opinion. Overall, like I said, I did enjoy it. Hopefully you guys did too. If you guys have seen it, let me know your thoughts about it down in the comments down below. How would you guys rate this? Me personally, I'd rate it probably a 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, there were things about it I disliked, which I went into. There were things about this I did like. Seeing some of the fights, which again, I wish there was more fights. Just seeing Pacific Rim in general, I enjoyed, as well as also just seeing more side stories of Pacific Rim, because this world is very interesting. It's just at the same time, I wish they would build more upon it than just give us kind of crappy answers and crappy endings, rather than just going further about how quickly these characters die as well as everything else. So it just gets really boring when they do that. But hopefully they'll go into more detail about possibly past characters, as well as also characters that's going on now, and also how these characters came to be, such as Boy, as well as this Apex character as well. So overall, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Hope you guys enjoying your day, and I'll see you, of course, as always, on the very next video.